Hello again. This is Mark with Nashville Aikikai. Thank you for joining me on video 3 of our Aikido Schools of Ueshiba Social Media Initiative video series. This third video is going to be about your website, but before we start, I want to remind you, why are we doing this? Think of social media as road signs. The more people that go by your road sign, the more opportunity there is that they get curious, that they come in and they join your dojo. That's reason number 1. And the most important, probably. The second reason is that when we have a lot of good social media going on within the ASU organization, the more opportunity to share content, to share ideas, and exponentially, we send that information out into the world and into our culture so that when people think about Aikido, they're thinking about ASU schools. And that's going to help us draw that out so that everybody can see it and kind of unify us as a group, I think, a little bit better. So, video number 3, this is where the rubber hits the road, and I have to remind you, you may not be the person to do this. Now, you can do this. I learned how to do this, so I know anybody else that spends some time can learn how to do all these things. I'm still learning, and you will be too. This is an ongoing process. But keep in mind, you may have someone in the dojo that's technically savvy, and you may have someone in the dojo that's looking to cut their dues in half and would be willing to take up this initiative. It's important that one person do it, I think, because that is how we get the same look, at least initially, and then we can start farming it out. But Mr. or Mrs. Dojo Cho, it may not be you. If it is, that's great. Don't be intimidated by it. You can do it. But if there's someone else in the dojo, they need to be watching the rest of this series to make sure that they're going along this journey with us. So why are we talking about websites? Websites, the repository for all the information coming in from the social media sphere. They want to be able to go to your website and see what your hours are, what your lineage is, who's teaching, what kind of classes you have, and to learn all the details. So your website is the repository for this. With that in mind, I think it's best to keep your website very simple, very comprehensive, select just a few menu topics across the side, and you want to start building your brand with this. What I mean is, you want to start using the same colors, you want to start using your logo, you want to have a look or a feel, and that's why I think it's important that you have one person starting out on this social media initiative, because that person is going to drive the look and the feel that later on becomes your brand. Your brand is the reason that people can see your stuff out of the corner of their eye and go, oh, I already know who that is. They see the same font, they see the same colors, they see the same logo, maybe they hear the same voice, and that's going to help expand your brand, so to speak. And your brand's going to be something that is created along the way, so don't get too uptight about that. So the initial message is keep your website simple, use the same fonts, use the same colors, use the logo. As far as your photographs and your videos, use high-resolution imagery. The reason is people qualify a quality business or a quality dojo or quality anything by the quality of the look, right? So maybe now you don't have the best high-res images on your website, and that's fine. Just know as you go along and you're creating content, you're going to want to swap out the lower resolution for the higher resolution images that will be sure to be coming down the road for you. This is going to make sure that when people look at your website, look at your social media, as we get better at this, they're going to see our quality increase in their minds, and they're more apt to come in. Also, make sure your contact page is very informative and up-to-date. You want to have your website, which they're already on. That kind of doesn't make sense. You want to have your phone number. You want to have your social media websites on there as well. And you want to have an email so that they can contact you in any way that they feel comfortable doing and get a response back from you. That way, again, when they're interested, you're striking when the iron's hot and getting them interested in a more personal way. As far as content on your website, I'd advise not having a lot of that, but what you do have should be well organized and easy to get to and easy to get back to the home page, and things that aren't really going to confuse them too much. We're going to be talking a little bit about how YouTube plays into this, how Facebook plays into this, and all those other things. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is on the website as you're working on it is keywords. Keep in mind when people do searches, they're going to want to use keywords. And if you, on your homepage, if you include things like self-defense, martial arts, Aikido, your town, that's going to help them find you when they're searching for these things and make you more relevant, put you up at the top of the list when the searches are conducted. So anyway, that's video number 3. I hope you'll join me for video number 4 coming out in a week or so. And thanks again for listening.